Okay guys, in this part, this should be a quick video. We're going to wire and test fit our speakers. So this chassis supports a 28mm bass speaker. These are from Smuggler's Outpost. They are 2 watt, 4 ohm. Very comparable to the TCS WOW speakers that sound great, but there's been a lot of people complaining about the quality of the speakers. I never encountered problems with the WOW speakers, but if other people are, then probably best to steer clear of them. Given these a shot, you've heard this on my Fallen Order demo, and it's really loud on top of the resonance chamber of the Fallen Order hilt. Really loud, and I only had this at 1600. You can go up, you can go higher with that. Okay, well, with that said, so first things first, we can crack open one of these speakers. First thing I'll do is just test fit it. Make sure that it's going to fit. It's going to be a snug fit if it does right out of the box. So that's a pretty snug fit. If it's too snug, that's not good either though. So I can see the print on the inside here is not the greatest. So that's probably that's probably causing some of the problem. So I'll just come in here, see if I can file down some of it. A lot of Saber installs, it's not, they're not all just follow these steps. Sometimes you have to be able to improvise or react to the situation, like anything in life, right? So that helped a little bit. Not the greatest, but what I don't want it to do is wind up pushing and causing it to bulge. So even though it's a good fit, I'd rather glue it in, right? I'd rather that be glued in with E6000 or some super glue. So I'd rather it just, I'd rather it be, kind of a loose fit, not loose, but, also not incredibly tight. So the other thing you could do is file this just a little bit. Just hit these speaker tabs just a little. Not even on camera. Sorry guys. Right, I'm just using my Dremel. These plastic tabs, not the soldering tabs, just these plastic tabs, which are holding the cone and just holding the metal to the plastic cone. Okay, let's see if that did it. Yep. So I like that. That's a good fit. Okay, so I'll put these aside. Okay, so we got a good test fit. Okay, next thing I'll do. So again, I have my soldering station warmed up to 700 degrees Fahrenheit. Does it need to be that high? No, maybe not. You gotta find your sweet spot, your good working temperature. But again, I'm tinning the tip, putting some heat onto the pad, and this, you don't gotta go crazy. Just enough that's going to be able to hold that wire. And if you don't feel it's enough, add a little bit more. Okay. What you want to be careful with on the speaker, okay, there's a wire running from both tabs to the inside. You probably can't see it. You don't want to accidentally desolder that wire while you're trying to solder your own wires to those terminal tabs. Now I'm using 28 gauge wire here. Okay. Again, color doesn't matter as long as the color makes sense to you and you know what color you're using and where they're being soldered and routed to. For me, I go red. So you see the battery has a red mark on it. That lets us know that that's positive. Profi does have a positive and negative speaker tab terminal pad. Some soundboards don't make that distinction. Okay. Now you can see, if you give it too much heat, it melts the glue or whatever's holding that tab on. So you got to be careful. You don't want to give it too much heat. And you don't want to pull or tug until it cools down. So you just want a quick zap. That was good. I think I did the orange better than I did the red. Okay, now that it's cooled down, the glue's dried, that'll lock back into place. That one's good. I like the orange. Now, one thing that I like to do, and I probably should have had this heating up while I was chatting. Oh, where's my glue gun? Probably not necessary. My preference. However, I can shut my soldering station off because I don't need to solder again right now. We'll let the glue gun heat up. Okay. I'm just, the point, so while that heats up, I'm just going to hold these down. Small, pea-sized dab of glue. Push it down with my thumb until it dries. And that's going to hold those wires back there. So heat gun is hot enough. It doesn't, for this it doesn't even need to be that hot. I just want it a little bit hot so that I can get a dab of glue and then press it down with my finger, letting it dry, and that's it. That's all I wanted. I just wanted a little bit of glue that's going to be able to hold those wires down. This way, if you're yanking on the wire, right, at least you're not yanking on the soldering points now. I can now direct speaker wires around the recharge port I'll grab those in a minute. Okay. And those are in a good spot. So my lower half is done. So what do I have left? We have switch wires, we have the NeoPixel wires that'll come in from the top. And then once everything's in place, we can start connecting, joining wires together. Now the only other thing, and this is more about test fitting into the Sabre, is I might run the Dremel along the outside and bring the speaker flush with the chassis. But that we'll get to when we test fit this into the pommel end, and make sure that it slides on and that there's no, it's not hitting anything. And the other thing we can do, now this is where my liquid tape comes in. I'll use the liquid tape and I'll put a dab on each of the soldering points. And I'll do that once I know that my speaker is working and I'm hooked up. I can just pull this out a little bit, apply it. Maybe I'll put on some E6000 or glue, and we'll lock that in once I can confirm my speaker's working. Okay, so I'll do the other two speakers. I save all these containers that speakers come in because I use them to store little screws, or sometimes I have little 3D printed parts, or little pixel, NeoPixel, leftovers. So just a little storage container. So I try to save what I can. Okay, so what would be next? The next part of the video is going to be probably the switch assembly for the particular hilt. This is a Fallen Order hilt, Corbanth 89 Sabres, Fallen Order Sabre has a switch assembly that holds the two switches. I'll show you the switch assembly that I have access to, how to put the switches themselves in it, how to put the assembly into the hilt, and so we'll do that next on the next video.